Hello, welcome to My Life in Spain. My name is Mark, and today I want to talk a little bit about politics in Spain and in the rest of the world. Yesterday I listened to Donald Trump when he was at the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey, and he was sat next to Mark Rutte, and he was talking about Spain. He was saying, I'm very unhappy with Spain. They're a terrible nation. We're not happy with them at all. They don't pay enough for NATO. They pay nothing. Now, Spain pays the 2% it agreed to pay. And of the 32 NATO member countries, Spain is number 7 when it comes to spending the most money. The United States, of course, spends far more than anybody else, but Spain is number 7. So Spain does pay for NATO. Because they don't want to raise it to 5%. That's why he's angry. I mean, I think he wants everybody to spend more money to defend themselves, which of course they need to do, and they are going to do. But then he also wants them to spend money on American military equipment. And Europe's kind of getting smart to that. They're turning against it. Canada, for example, I'm not even mentioning Europe, but another NATO member, they were going to buy the F-35 from Lockheed Martin, and now it looks like they're going to buy the Gripen from Sweden. Now, buying the Gripen from Sweden makes a lot of sense for a country like Canada that's got a lot of area in the Arctic. The Gripen can pretty much land anywhere, on gravel runways, on roads. And what Sweden said they would do, they would build a factory in Canada and let them make the plane themselves. So Canada will have full control over the manufacture of the Gripen, the Canadian Gripen. And unlike the F-35, where Trump talks about putting a kill switch in it so the US can turn it off anytime they want, Canada will have its own aircraft. So that's one point about the NATO and where Trump doesn't seem to get it right. The next thing is they did a poll in Spain asking Spaniards what they thought about Donald Trump, and 82% of people had a negative opinion of the man. And I'm not surprising, you know. But where Trump really is pissed off with Spain is because when he decided to start the war with Iran, he didn't ask any of his NATO partners for any input or any help. He just listened to Benjamin Netanyahu, who probably said to him, look, Donald, you do this with us. It's a moment in history. It's a chance of a lifetime. You will go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. And Trump just lapped it up and said, oh yeah, I can be a hero. We can be heroes. And just like the David Bowie song, we can be heroes. And he went ahead and attacked Iran without asking any NATO allies for any input whatsoever. And when he asked, he thought he could just use NATO bases around the world. And Spain said to Trump, no, you cannot use your naval station. It's also got an air wing there as well at Rutte, and you can't use Maron Air Force Base for any attacks on Iran. And Spain and Trump went ballistic. I mean, the bully, he's so used to getting his way, he couldn't believe somebody stood up to him. And the Spanish people were proud of Sanchez for doing that. They might not like him for many other things, but they were proud that he stood up to a bully. And then after that, Macron of France said the same thing. You can't fly over France. And then Meloni said you can't use our bases either. So now Trump's all isolated. He's like a big baby blaming everybody else. And now he's stuck. He's stuck in a war that he started with Israel. And he doesn't seem to get out of it. Now, shutting down of the Straits of Hormuz, I mean, I'm not a military strategist, but I could have told you what Iran would do if you attacked them. And 20% of the oil now is not flowing through the Strait of Hormuz anymore, which means the global economy is in a bit of trouble. Now, Trump's of the opinion, oh, the United States has more oil than anybody else. We don't need your oil. You know, we got our own oil. But what he seems to forget again is that oil is priced on a global market. So it doesn't matter how much oil the United States has got. You're going to pay the same price that a country that doesn't have any oil is going to pay for the oil, because it's a free trade market. So, and Trump's worried about that. He's worried about gas prices going up. He knows the midterms are coming. Even though he says he doesn't care, he probably does. And now with the war back on again, and the Strait of Hormuz most certainly closed again, the price is going to go higher. And that means gas prices at the pumps are going to go higher. Now, Spain, on the other hand, is smart. Now, this is where another reason Trump hates Spain. Trump hates windmills and renewable energy. Now, Spain gets 62% of its electricity from renewable energy. And because of that, electricity in Spain is cheap. My bill last month with the air conditioner running the whole time was either 72 or 79 euros. I forget now. But that's what it was. It's not high at all. Compare that to your bill in the United States. So we get renewable energy. So when the sun shines and the wind blows, we make electricity here in Spain. But Trump's drill, baby drill, he doesn't want anything to do with the future, which is what we're looking at here in Spain. And I'm glad Spain's leading the way. They produce 62% of their electricity now with renewables, but by the end of the decade, that will be up to 80%. So Spain's going in the right direction in my mind. You're not relying on oil from other countries as much. The next thing, Trump stood there now, he's with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, and he says, "Oh, I'm very unhappy with Spain. No more trade with Spain. No more trade with Spain." And Bessent says, "Yes, sir, no more trade with Spain." Now, what Trump probably doesn't know, the United States has a trade surplus with Spain. That means Spain buys more things from the United States than the United States buys from Spain. So why wouldn't you want to trade with Spain? The United States actually makes money on those deals. The next thing Trump doesn't know, you can't put tariffs on Spain. Spain is a part of the European Union. If you want to tariff Spain, you've got to tariff the whole European Union. And that's not going to work. So it's just hot air coming from Trump. Nothing's going to happen. It's just totally stupid. He just talks out of his ass sometimes. He doesn't think what he's going to say when he says it. Anyway, that's how he is, I suppose. But some people like him. Not me personally. It's not my. I don't want to get into politics, but I'm not political. But I just don't like Donald Trump as a person, and I think he's a bully, and he's a horrible man. Anyway, that's my opinion about Donald Trump. Let me see if there's anything I missed here. Okay. Yeah, he also mentioned towards the end of it, there'll be no more people visiting Spain. So what's he going to do? Is he going to ban Americans from traveling to Spain? Can he do that even? I don't know. I mean, Spain will get thousands and thousands of Americans this summer. Spain's a wonderful country to visit. It's full of history, and Americans generally come to Spain and they have a really good time. And hopefully they will continue to do so and not listen to their, what's he called? Commander-in-chief or buffoon-in-chief, I don't know, whatever, clown-in-chief. So we'll see what happens that way. Spain's actually going to have a record-breaking summer for tourism. And it's not just Americans that come here, it's people from all over the world. I wouldn't be surprised if Spain at the end of 2026 was the most visited country in the world. All right, guys, thanks for watching and listening to me go on about Trump a little bit here. I hope I didn't bore you. I'll get back to more Spain videos next week, but it just annoyed me when I listened to what Trump was saying on TV yesterday about Spain. Spain's a great place. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again on my next video, which will be on Wednesday. All right, bye for now.